14. I'm your host, as always, Rel Allen. And, you're pretty regular here at this point.
It's been 5, I think.
Has it been? Or is it 4?
3. This is my fourth time.
This is 4. This is 4. Yeah, but, way more than anybody else.
Yeah.
The kid is back. Miss Nia, wave to the people. Say hello.
Hi.
I'll give you another round of applause. Another round of applause because you are a recent graduate.
I did just about almost a month ago. About 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, it was the 31st.
So about almost 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, about 3 weeks.
I graduated from 8th grade. I am a freshman. I'm officially a freshman because I'm taking summer school.
Yeah, you are in summer school.
So I am
the classic overachiever.
I want to take more classes.
Hey, I'm not. Hey, you know what? Your thirst for knowledge is inspiring.
Yeah, but I am taking summer school, so I guess I'm officially a freshman.
You are officially a freshman in high school.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
They don't throw pennies at you guys anymore. That's you're not even knowing.
My sophomore friend did say that I might get mildly hazed. Not like they're not gonna throw me down a flight of stairs, but they're definitely gonna be like, "Ew, you're a freshman." So
nobody threw me down a flight of stairs.
Okay, well I'm so glad for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I am in summer school. I did just graduate. Summer school's been pretty fun so far. Taking biology, so I'm pretty interested in science and stuff like that. So I am having fun.
Big brain.
Yes, big brain. But so I just graduated from 8th grade.
She did. You did.
I did.
Yes. You as in the person sitting next to me, my child.
Okay. But I've been thinking about this.
It's been an experience for you. Yeah.
So I remember, I bring this point up. I was in this class one time in 2nd grade, and there's this thing where at the end of my email, there's the year that we graduate from 8th grade since I'm in that school district. So from kindergarten to just this year, I've had my graduate year at the end of my email for school, right? Mm-hmm. So I was sitting in my class in 2nd grade, and I was like, why is there a 23 at the end of my email? And your teacher was like, oh, that's the year that you graduate from 8th grade. And I was like, this was 2017 at this point. So I was like, wow, that's so long. That's so far from now. I can't imagine being in 8th grade. 8th graders are so big. And then I think about that all the time now. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. That was.
Now you are a big 8th grader.
Now I am not anymore.
Well, yeah. No, you were. Excuse me. Yes. You're right. You were a big 8th grader.
Now I'm a tiny freshman. But yeah. So middle school.
Yeah. All the way back to the bottom of the totem pole.
I hate it. I already don't like it. But yeah, I am in high school. Middle school was. It was pretty rough.
So you started off. So your first year of middle school was the COVID year.
It was 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
So
and I remember, going into in 2020, it was kind of touch and go with what we were doing in terms of the pandemic. Were we still on lockdown? Were we kind of were people going to go back to school? And I know for a while, they were basically saying that you were going to go back.
And then
in the Flossmoor School District, and then it was a day or two before they announced.
Yeah, and then they were like, "Well, joke's on you, haha! You can't go back." And
yeah.
I was destroyed.
You were devastated. I remember the day you found out, and you cried for a long time.
I cried for literally a day and a half. I was a mess.
It was pretty rough.
It was valid because I'd been thinking about my first day of middle school, going to middle school since I was in 2nd grade.
Yeah, it was a big milestone that you missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think about the sophomores who are now juniors. They missed their entire 8th grade year, so they had to graduate online.
Right.
So yeah, I'm kind of fortunate. Everyone missed important things.
Everybody missed out on something.
Everyone missed out on something, but I think I would have rather missed my first year than my last year of middle school because the graduation, the 8th grade experience, at the end of the year was amazing.
Yeah.
I had so much fun, and even graduating was such a like important moment to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That if I would have missed that, like, oh my God, I would have.
Yeah, and I mean that's something to think about. Because I remember when I graduated from 8th grade many moons ago. But yeah, it was a big deal. You know, like you were really excited about it.
Yeah.
You had like people had graduation parties and stuff.
I had a graduation party.
You did have a graduation party.
Really fun.
Yeah, it was a stone cold groove. We had
What? Anyways.
But no, yeah, but it was a good time. But yeah, no, I still remember the day I graduated and the stuff I did. It's kind of like one of those core memories that you have.
It was a very surreal experience. Like I haven't, like I was expecting me to be a lot more emotional. I have yet to have cried because of this. I don't even know if it's gonna happen. I don't really want it to happen, but like knowing me, I was expecting me to be like a lot more sad and emotional.
No, you were definitely very. You were happy.
I was very happy.
Which is what I mean. Which is really you could be sad about, and I think maybe if you were leaving a lot more of your friends, but I mean, basically most of those people you're gonna see. You're gonna be in high school with them next year.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're not leaving a bunch of people behind.
Yeah, and there are 2 high schools in our school district that people who went to Parker would have gone to. So some people who live in Chicago Heights went to Bloom. Oh my God, rough school. You think HF is ghetto? Oh my God, Bloom is awful.
And it's funny because just thinking about that, when I was a kid, obviously I was in the city, in the rough and tumble CPS school system.
It wasn't. Where you live isn't like rough and tumble.
I mean, on my block. But you obviously, and you weren't around in the 90s. It was a little bit different. But no, where I grew up, where grandma and granddaddy still live, it was very quiet. It was very, very nice block. But I had to travel a while. And even though, I graduated from Morgan Park High School, shout out to the Mighty Mustangs. But I had to travel. I had to get on the bus, the CTA.
Listen, if someone told me, hey, you need to be able to travel from this point to this point on a bus, or I'm going to shoot your head off, I would be one dead. Ooh, I would.
I mean, obviously.
I have no confidence in my ability. I can
You would figure it out.
I would, obviously, because I'm smart. But like, if someone asked me for directions on a bus, I'd be like, you need to ask someone else. Like, I'm confident in my ability to ride the train because I've ridden it so much. I'm confident in my ability to, like, I don't know, direct you. I might not know street names, but I know where I am. Like, I can be like, turn here and you'll end up here. Right. But a bus, man,
I mean, it's pretty much the same thing. I mean, the train is like, because it's the same thing with the bus. It's a defined route. Yeah. So you just gotta make sure you get on the right bus.
Yeah. Okay.
So
anyways, you had to travel far.
Yeah, I had to travel a bit of a distance. Not too far, but I had to catch it was either 2 buses or a train and a bus. I would either catch the 29 state bus. And catch that to the 95th Street Terminal, or either I would walk to 79th or 87th Street and catch the red line to 95th, and then I would catch the 112 all the way to my school.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was interesting.
I don't have to travel that far.
No, you don't. You can really walk to school.
It's a long walk.
But you can.
I prefer to ride my bike.
Yeah.
Even that bike ride is like rough. Not rough. Not rough. I sound really privileged right now. It's not rough, but like it's a good bike ride.
Yeah, I mean, and obviously there are so many differences. Like I've told you this before, like you growing up out in the suburbs.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have to worry about someone stealing my bike.
Yeah.
That's actually has been proven wrong because I'm stupid. So I was like, I'm gonna ride my bike to school. First day of summer school, I'm gonna ride my bike. So I was like, let me bring my locker lock to lock my bike up. And I got there, and my best friend Reagan, she stood out there with me for 20 minutes.
Shout out to Reagan,
because she really, like, I was expecting her to just walk away. But she stood out there with me for like 15, 20 minutes trying to shove this tiny locker lock onto a bike, and she almost got it. She's real smart. She like grabbed one of the wires and like pulled it out, and was trying to like so it could be long enough to hook it around. She almost got it, but she didn't. So I went that whole entire day praying and hoping that my bike was still out there when I got there. And then shout out to my science teacher because he let me bring my bike around to his greenhouse.
And this is when I had to overnight the bike lot.
Yes. So he let me bring my bike around to his greenhouse. He's really cool. His name is Mr. B. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but he's really cool. He's really nice. I like him a lot.
Shout out to Mr. B.
Shout out to Mr. B.
Yeah.
Banasak, I think that's how you say his name. It's I don't know.
Okay. Well, shout out to him.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, it wouldn't just be you like leaving your bike somewhere worried about getting stolen, because like when I was growing up, if I left my bike, it was pretty much a guarantee that it was going to be stolen. Yeah. Like if I left it out somewhere, like it was somebody was going to steal it.
Yeah.
But you also had to worry about people just running up on you and like, hey, give me your bike. Like groups of grown men assaulting a child for their bike. Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that.
So we grew up in very different times, very different areas.
Very different times, different, So that's good, and you can ride your bike to school. But I definitely, even if outside of that, I definitely lived too far to like be trying to ride my bike all the way to school.
Yeah. So I'm gonna start out with how I felt about each year.
Okay. So you're gonna give us a layout. So sixth grade was the COVID year.
Yeah.
I definitely remember that.
Oh yeah. Sixth grade was a blur, but it was also felt like the longest year of my life. Like that year was rough, and I feel like that year we're gonna get a little deep with this, but I do struggle with my mental health quite a bit
at times.
At times, I feel like after fifth grade, after Uncle Ian passed, and just like the happenings of that year kind of like set me on a path that I'm still on right now. But I feel like if COVID wouldn't have hit that year, I would not have been in the place that I am right now. So that year messed me up. The summer between 6th and 7th grade was one of the roughest like just times.
Yeah.
It was awful.
I remember there was, a lot happened.
Yeah.
Right? A lot. I mean, and let's not discount, obviously, with your uncle passing towards the end of 2019.
It was right before my birthday. Have that memory.
Yeah, well,
you're 3 days before my birthday.
Yeah, your birthday is the day after his.
Yeah. It's bittersweet.
Yeah. It is. It's kind of one of those things. And I remember, like a few days later, but we still, had to celebrate your birthday, and we did.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, to the best way we could. But then it's like, what, 4 months later, we're like in the middle of it was more like, I guess it started. It was like 6.
It was 6 months.
Yeah, it was 6 months.
It was September.
Yeah, September to March. Yeah.
So, 6th grade year wasn't fun. I did make, some friends that I became closer with. My friend Eden at that time. I became closer with my friend Reagan, which I talk about a lot on this podcast. Yeah. She's one of my best friends. I became just closer with a lot of people because, like I was very chronically just like online because I didn't have anything else to do. Yeah. That's how I kind of got into like my special effects, and that helped me a lot. I got into like reading books a lot more because of one of my other good friends, and just like I found new hobbies. I started playing guitar.
Yeah, time. You did start playing guitar.
So, and that's become like I'm pursuing guitar into high school, so it's becoming more serious for me.
Yeah, and you've gotten pretty good at it.
Pretty good at it, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, so 6th grade was rough, but it also like presented me to a lot of new things that I'm passionate about now.
Yeah. I remember your 6th grade year a lot for different reasons. So I do remember all the stuff that you talked about. Obviously, it was 2020 going into 2021. Mm-hmm. It was because I remember at the beginning of 2020, because like when it first happened in March, it was like towards the end of the school year.
Yeah.
anyway. So you did the remote learning thing, but
But I didn't really have school.
yeah, because everybody was just kind of like,
It's the end of the school year. Like,
yeah, so
there's nothing to do.
Right. So it wasn't as big of a deal. But then your entire 6th grade year, pretty much, except for like I remember you went to take that test or something like that towards the end. But you at least got to go into school in the classroom, be in a classroom setting.
Yeah.
But for pretty much every like the whole year you were at home. But what I do remember a lot was you spent a lot of time here.
I did.
Yeah, like I know it got kind of rough. Where you had everything. So and it kind of like I remember we just came here and we just kind of for a while.
I spent I was in like the last 2 months of school here and at grandma's house and grandma and granddaddy's house.
Yeah.
My last day of school, I was at grandma and granddaddy's house.
Yeah, I remember. So and I was here. Obviously I was here too working. And I just remember not because I know a lot of people were talking about how they had to get their kids up, you know what I'm saying, tell them, hey, make sure they're going to school, make sure they're going to class. And I just remember I never had to worry. I just had to set you up a space.
Yeah, because
and you got up and did everything yourself.
I didn't really want to miss out on.
Yeah.
It was stressful because school was hard. Especially doing math online is awful. And I was doing 8th grade math. I don't want to be like, oh, I had such a hard time. I'm doing 8th grade math in 6th grade. But, it was hard.
Yeah.
I was really struggling. I did not understand what I was doing. And just the stress of, where I was.
And trying to figure all that out that's hard.
Made it even worse.
Yeah,
but I did do good in school.
Yeah.
I got almost straight A's. And I remember it really made me mad. I got 1 B at the end of the year in social studies of all things.
Yeah.
It was an 89.6.
Yeah, I know, and she wasn't round up.
That made me so angry.
Yeah. But I just remember just knowing everything that you were dealing with and how you were feeling, but you were still able to get all that stuff accomplished and not miss a beat. I'm
very once I know I kind of complain. I can complain about stuff and I can be like, oh, I don't want to do this. But once I put my mind towards something, I'm more times or not, I'm gonna finish it out the best that I can.
Right. And I was just really proud, that despite all of that, and but it also showed a lot of stuff. I don't know if you necessarily always give yourself enough credit, but that showed a lot of resiliency.
Yeah.
A lot of mental toughness. That a lot of people wouldn't have been able. Outside the pandemic. Was already hard enough for a lot of people to go through, but then you throw grief on top of that.
Yeah.
That can make for a pretty, and then for you to be as young as you were and still got other things going on, your hormones are starting to change.
I was 12.
Yeah, but you were still kind of getting, you were where you had been in puberty for a while then.
No, not a while. I was 12. I just started.
You started around 11.
Well, that's when I started.
Yeah. Oh, that was TMI.
That's kind of when it starts happening.
Yeah,
once you get your period. As a woman, once you get your period, that's kind of when the Cadillac of just everything just starts.
But anyway, but going through all of that, and you were still able to, and then you able to continue that into your 7th to 8th grade year.
So 7th grade, the beginning of 7th grade was rough.
Why was beginning of 7th grade rough?
Because I was just coming back from not talking to people for such a long time, and I felt kind of the mask thing was rough because it was so hot.
Yeah.
It was 90 degrees outside. And we had air conditioning, but it really didn't help that much.
Right.
You walk into an 80-degree room with a mask on and glasses, because I hadn't gotten contacts.
Yeah, you had your glasses. Oh, yeah.
That was it. That made it worse. Trying to socialize with people that I haven't seen in so long made it worse. Even just my best friends, we hadn't really seen each other.
So interacting as people
interacting
one-on-one
was weird. Kids, I learned how mean middle school kids were very quickly. That was rough.
Yeah, kids are jerks.
So I have always been a big kid, right?
Mm.
I wouldn't necessarily call myself fat, but
No.
some people would beg to differ. I was a big kid, and I have lost quite a bit of weight from 7th to 8th grade year.
Mm.
And we'll get into that a little bit later, but that did shape the way people treated me a little bit, which was weird to kind of like go through.
Yeah.
But in 7th grade, man, like my body image was awful. Like I was, people were mean. Like people just out of nowhere, like I bump into people in the hallway. They'd be like, "Move, you fat." Like it was just like, what did I do? Like I don't even know who you are. Like it.
Yeah. I remember that was
That was a big part of my 7th grade year. I would be scared of saying the wrong thing to people because then I would immediately think that they would call me fat, or I'd be scared of even just bumping into people in the hallway because their immediate reaction was to call me fat or something along the line. Like, just
yeah. I remember having a lot of conversations about that.
it was rough.
Yeah. I mean, but we got through it. You know? Yeah.
7th grade. Besides that, 7th grade year was pretty calm. It was pretty normal.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like, I remember at the end of my 7th grade year, there was a lot of sadness because of I had made a lot of 8th grade friends, and them graduating was very sad.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, you were pretty broken up about that.
I was.
Yeah.
No, because they had become like even some. I still talk to some of my 8th grade friends, and they had become some of like my closest friends.
Because a lot of those people you met like doing through theater and stuff like that.
Stuff that we
orchestra
all loved.
Yeah, right.
Like them leaving was gonna be rough, but I mean, I got through it. We're gonna be at the same schools this year, so like it wasn't that bad.
Which I told you it wasn't gonna like you're gonna see. Like it's not like you were acting like you were never gonna see these people again.
I realized that, but you also have to realize that I was very sad.
I know.
And then 8th grade year, you know, it was a year.
It was a year.
Yeah,
it was.
It was a year. School was school. People were a little bit nicer, but not that much nicer. There was a lot of just like maturity, like gaining a little bit more maturity over the summer between 7th and 8th grade year. I had matured a little bit, I think.
You matured a lot.
Yeah,
for sure.
My confidence has gotten better over the course of this year, but even just at the beginning of 8th grade year, like I had the confidence to wear some stuff that I would have never wear. I wear crop tops now. You wouldn't have seen me in a crop top. You wouldn't see me nothing but a hoodie last year at this time. So
yeah. Now you know it's funny that you mentioned about your confidence because I definitely noticed it this year in softball.
Yeah.
Like, because before.
Oh, yeah, I crushed it this year in softball. I'm so sorry. Team as a whole sucked. I was amazing. I was great. I was doing my thing.
But outside of your actual performance, I was speaking more to like, it was cool to watch you take you took your 8th grade upperclassman like leadership role.
No, because I had always thought, like even when I was in kindergarten, the 5th graders were so mean to the younger kids. And I'd always thought like I never want to be like that to someone who's younger than me because I really thought that they were cool, and them being mean to me like really hurt because I was like, why are you being so mean to me? Like I'm just trying to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when I was in 6th grade, the 8th graders on my team were really mean. Like they were condescending.
I remember.
They were passive aggressive. Like they wouldn't help. They were just mean. And so I know I'm not the coach, but I just wanted to be nice to them because they unless they did anything to me, like. Sorry, I always just wanted to be respectful and be nice to them. Yeah. Because they're in 6th grade. They don't know what they're doing. Right. Most of them didn't.
And it was just cool to see like not only that, but just like a lot of stuff. Like I remember I used to have to tell you like, hey, run out on the field, run after stuff, like hustle, and like
you didn't have to say any of that.
I didn't have to.
I got tired of you telling me that. I think.
Well, I mean, but you saw the difference in how you played, right? And how that's like. So I wasn't just telling you that type of stuff just to tell you.
And then I just started playing first base, and I think first base is going to be my position from now on because I think I really did good. Right, outfield, I'm not fast enough for outfield.
Yeah,
I'm not like.
Yeah, because you got out in the outfield, you got to cover a lot of ground.
Yeah, I'm not fast enough for outfield. I mean, I'll play it and I'll do fine, but I'm much better at first base. But anyway, so 8th grade was a year. Theater was awful. I can't even get into how awful that experience was this year.
But you did really good. The Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast, the last one that you guys did, was definitely like by far the best one.
Yeah, I was stage manager for the play. That was an experience.
Which play was that?
67 Cinderella's.
Oh, right.
I was stage manager. That was an experience, especially as, an older member of the cast. Casting crew, I was expected to, have a little bit more responsibility. And I was stage manager, so I kind of looked over everything.
Right.
Which was a really rough experience. But it was rewarding in the end. People were mean. Theater kids, just in general, are just really jealous. And kind of like, you've never experienced this. It's a very weird environment, which is why I'm even questioning if I want to do theater in high school anyway.
Really?
It's a really, like, if it's good, like, the good moments in theater are amazing. Like, they make you feel so amazing. It feels like you have, like, a family, like a group of kids who really understand you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I have allergies. I have phlegm in my throat.
It's okay. It's okay.
I don't have COVID. But when it's bad and like a toxic environment, you don't, like, I used to dread going to theater after school. And I mean, I had a responsibility I had to commit to. Right. But
yeah, you made a commitment. You honored the commitment.
And I was a big part of it.
Right.
But I just hated it for a really long time. At the end, it was rewarding. Then the musical came around. There was a little bit of... So I auditioned for a role for the first time in a really long time, since like 4th grade. Because I had always been crew because I didn't really have enough confidence to be on stage. But now I do. So I was like, it's my 8th grade year. If I'm going to do it, I might as well do it now.
Right.
Ended up getting a call back for a role, which was really, I didn't really expect. There was a lot of, I was really confident that I was going to get it. Didn't get it. It makes me so mad even talking about it. There was a lot of roles given away to certain people that I don't believe should have gotten it because they're very irresponsible people. So that ended up impacting one of my best friends, Satya, who should have gotten it. She didn't get it. She was really disappointed. She ended up getting the role that I would have gotten cast as.
Right.
So I ended up being ensemble.
Right.
Which is like the minor roles when you have multiple different roles.
Right.
Which was fine. I was still in the show because some people didn't even make it.
Right.
But I was very disappointed, very angry for reasons I can't delve into right now. And then that experience, like the first couple of weeks of that were rough. Then Satya ended up getting taken out of the show for reasons. So then I ended up getting her role. Right. Which was exciting. There was like a month until the show and I just gotten a brand new role that I should have gotten 3 months to prepare for. Now that I now had 3 weeks to prepare for. So that was stressful. But I did it.
Yeah, you did good.
And I think I did a good job.
You did a very good job.
There was a lot of drama that I just think if the teachers would have did a better job at their job, it could have been avoided. But
you blaming the teachers?
I mean, students, the kids are going to be kids, right? We're 14. Like, I know that they have to take responsibility for some of their actions, but at the end of the day, we're children, right? Like, the environment that the teachers create is the environment that's going to grow out of whatever energy the teachers are putting out. That's the energy that's going to be put into the show.
Yeah, I can't argue with you there.
So, I mean, kids, even if the kid is an awful human being, if the teachers really cared about the environment in their show, they would have kicked them out like as soon as the show started, as soon as they started exhibiting the behavior that they did. But because they were very forgiving, and it was just a lot of just going back and forth, and I feel like if they just would have put their foot down, none of it would have happened. But that I was happy that was over. So the play ended at the beginning of April. So basically for the last month of school, I was free. I didn't have any responsibilities. I could go home at 3:00. There was a lot of, preparing for the end of the school year, preparing for finals, which I did okay on my math final. I got 72. It's not bad.
You passed.
I passed. That's all I cared about. All I cared about. I passed. But then we went to Six Flags. That was, oh my gosh, I was like, everything that had happened during that school year was almost worth like just that experience.
Yeah.
Six Flags was so amazing. I got to hang out with my friends, some of my best friends. We got to walk around the park together. We got to eat giant funnel cakes together. We got to, go on roller coasters. I cursed some of my friends out on a roller coaster.
Why would you do that?
Because they made me go on the Joker, which is the first roller coaster I ever went on. And it was traumatizing.
Well, the backstory. So we speaking of honoring commitments. So we, so what was it? What year was this? We went to Cedar Point. Was this like 20?
I was going into 4th grade, so it was 2018. No, it was 2017, 2018. Because I wanted to, it was 2018, 2019. It was 2018.
It was 2018, summer of 2018, yeah. Summer of 2018, we took a road trip to Cedar Point. Took you and your Kennedy.
One of my childhood best friends.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her in a while.
I saw them the other day. We'll talk about that later. Yeah. Shout out to Kennedy and her mom Rachel.
Love
some of my neighbors.
Love you guys.
Grew up across the street.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I took them and Pierre went with us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we all got in the car and took a road trip to Cedar Point in Ohio. Spent the night up there. Then we went to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. But so we get there. And Nia said, I'm going to ride a roller coaster. I'm going to do it. And you told me to make sure, like, don't let me back out. Mm-hmm. So I was like, okay. Okay. So and I honestly felt like a bad parent.
No. You definitely should have. Because, no, listen. So it was a long wait, right? So I had time to contemplate what I was about to do. As more and more I got up, the more hysterical I got. To the point where I was sitting on the thing, sobbing.
Oh yeah, you were bawling. I'll never forget. So the people that come by and check your make sure you're secured, and I'll never forget the way he looked at me like, dude, are you really gonna do this? And I was like, yeah, no. I know.
I even told him. He asked me like, do you want to do this? I was like, no, I want to do it. I want to do it. He was like, okay.
Yeah, so but he looked at me like I was a terrible father.
I mean, there is more context needed, but
after you got it, but you ended up enjoying it, and after you got off, you were okay.
Yeah.
But then we rode on another roller coaster, and then you were like, okay, you're done.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like kind of like a wooden one, and it was kind of a rough ride. It was kind of bumpy. Yeah. It was kind of like how the Eagle, because you got on the Eagle, right?
Oh, I love the Eagle.
Yeah, but you're like, but then it's like, but the Eagle was bumpy because it's a wood roller coaster. Yeah. It's an old wooden roller coaster. I forgot the name of the one we went on Cedar Point, but after we got on that one, you were done. I was done. Yeah.
Rightfully so, because the Eagle, the first time I got on the Eagle, not James Hart, was just the other middle school. That's weird. At Great America, I was with Reagan. And she, we were holding on, right? She grabbed my hand like this all the way through the roller coaster. I look over her. She is screaming. I can see tears forming in her eyes. I'm like, bro, are you good? She was like, no, I hate you. And I was like, dang, okay. Well, but so after that was the dance. The dance was intense. It was fun. I looked nice.
You did.
Insert picture.
Somewhere. Oh yeah.
I will send you the pictures. I'm choosing this picture.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, insert picture somewhere. I looked nice. The dance was fun. It was intense because a bunch of mosh pits formed. People got picked up and put over people's heads. Like, I touched some dude's butt. Against my will.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah. But it was fun. And then after that, we had our picnic and graduation practice. Graduation practice was awful.
Yeah.
And then we had the graduation, and I graduated.
Which was so long. There were so
Graduation was so long.
There were so many of you.
I got 3 awards.
You did.
Because I'm like that.
Yeah, you got the chance to play on the graduation orchestra as well.
We did good.
Yeah.
I had to play with nails that are about out to here.
You did have on nails.
It actually worked.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, I could play. So now I know that I can play cello. Not guitar, but I can play cello with nails. But then I graduated, and I had my graduation party about 2 Saturdays ago. No, that was last Saturday.
It was last Saturday. Last Saturday.
So last week I had my graduation party. That was really fun. And yeah. So.
And now you're in high school.
Now I'm in high school. So next I want to talk about how I felt about my teachers. Okay. Oof, man. So I didn't really like. Okay, so I had my social studies teacher in 6th grade. I loved her. She was really cool.
Okay, let's not use any names here.
I won't. No.
Okay.
My social studies teacher.
And let's still be respectful.
I'm gonna be respectful.
Okay. All right.
Don't worry. But my 6th grade teacher, I really liked her. She was really cool. Can't use names, remember?
I know.
Oh, yeah. I thought you were about... Okay. But so she was really cool. She always said hi to me in the hallway. You know, we had conversations even after I was out of her class. You know, she was always really nice to me.
Yeah, I remember she was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really like any of my teachers in 7th grade except for my music teacher. Can I please drop her name? She was so nice.
Oh, yeah.
Her name's Miss Rupert. Oh, my gosh, Miss Rupert. I love you so much. I miss her so much. Yeah. She was so amazing. She was so sweet, like, just understanding, just to, like a cool teacher, but she also, like, was, like, we respected her. Mm-hmm. You know, she was just all around just an amazing teacher, and she left 7th grade. I really miss her. But I didn't really like any of my teachers in 7th grade except for Miss Rupert. Then in 8th grade, my science teacher, can I name drop her? Miss Senadinos.
Just go for it, man.
Miss Senadinos. I only name drop the teachers that I talk positively
about.
There
you go.
Miss Senadinos, I loved her so much. I'm going to miss her a lot. She was so just nice. I sat in her classroom a lot, just like after school.
Oh yeah, because she was really cool.
She was the NJHS director, so I got to know her a lot more because I was an officer. Mm-hmm. She was just all around just an amazing teacher. And then my Spanish teacher, Miss Bell, same thing with her. She was just an amazing teacher. I can't say, if you ask me anything in Spanish, I'm not gonna remember. But she was just a really nice teacher, and she was always like, you know, understanding and just, you know.
So who was your favorite?
Out of all middle school?
Yeah.
Miss Seno.
Okay.
I gotta say, like, it's between Miss Rupert and Miss Seno, but I want to say Miss Seno because I spent a lot more time with her.
Makes sense.
So I love Miss Seno. I'm gonna miss her a lot. But other than that, didn't really like any of the adults at my school. I mean, like,
I know one in particular. There wasn't a teacher, but that you had a few issues with in the hallways and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She got fired.
Really?
Rightfully so, because she was racist.
I didn't know. When did she get fired? I didn't know that.
The year after 7th grade. She wasn't there 8th grade.
I didn't know that. I didn't realize that. Okay.
She would only harass the non-white kids. Like, even she didn't, one of my Muslim friends, she turned 13, so she came to school with her hijab on.
Yeah.
And that's the only day that she ever harassed her in the hallway. Immediately after that, she didn't wear her hijab to school anymore, and she left her alone. So I was like, "You're an awful person." I had a UTI, and she would not let me go to the bathroom during lunch because you can't go to the bathroom during lunch. I literally told her, "I will pee on you if you don't let me go to the bathroom." And I had to push past her, let me go to the bathroom. I swear to God, I will pee on your shoes. Don't try me, because I will. I swear to God, I will right now.
You're not pee on your shoes.
I would have. I don't think you understand how badly I had to go to the bathroom.
I can imagine.
Then the deans were cool. I liked the deans. They were always nice to me because I had issues at school. Yeah. the administration, liked one of the assistant principals, the other one, the principal liked, they were all right.
They were all right.
Just overall, the staff was just kind of annoying. But I mean, they never really like gave me any issues personally, except for that one teacher, because I was always like a good student, right?
Mm-hmm.
8th grade year, I think I've gotten into more trouble than I have my entire school, like just
Yeah,
history.
definitely. And it still wasn't a lot.
It still wasn't even that much, but I got into quite a bit of trouble.
Yeah, but most of it was like stupid stuff, like with the phone stuff.
The phone stuff was so dumb. I had to sit in the classroom for 3 hours on a Saturday at 8 a.m. because I had my phone out because I was trying to text my mom about how I was going to get home.
Hey, but you're not supposed to have your phone out.
You know what? We're not even going to delve into that. But then some kid called me a fat, I can't even say the other word. In class, unprovoked, he called me a fat F word. And I stewed in it. And I told myself, the last time I had gotten called fat before that, I told myself, next time someone calls me fat, I'm going to hurt them. And so I was like, he was at the beginning of class, 45-minute period, the entire time I was just like looking at him like, I need to stand up for myself. And I was like, I cannot let him just say this about me and me not say anything. So at the end of class, about 3 minutes left of class, I asked someone, I had stuff in my pockets. I was like, here, hold this. I went over to him and I was like, did you say this? And he was like, yeah. So I flipped his chair and he fell. And when he got back up, I punched him. And it was really fun. I was really upset. I had to do
So we
he deserved it.
I mean, we don't condone violence here at Channel 914, but
sometimes violence is the answer.
Sometimes you gotta let people know where the lines are.
Then after that, no one ever said anything to me the entire rest of the school year.
And obviously, I was not mad at you when that happened.
No. You've been waiting. You were like, I cannot wait. You were like, I can't wait.
I was so.
You were proud of me.
I was, and not for. Obviously, I don't want you to just go around punching people, but also, like I said, you have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And people are gonna say things. People are gonna be mean. People are gonna be jerks. And that's not limited to middle school. That's not limited to high school. That's going to be in your whole entire life. Now, you can't always solve your problems by punching people.
No, I realized that after 8th grade, like I probably might get arrested. So
but there are times where, hey man, you gotta let people know that you can't play with me like that. Yeah. You have to let people know what the lines are.
Yeah.
Or they're just gonna be trying to they're gonna always create their own line.
Yeah,
with you.
in the entirety of 7th grade, I never stood up for myself. People, because I wasn't as heavy, people said stuff here and there about me throughout 8th grade, but like that, I was like, I'm so done. Like, try me again. And no one, like I said, no one ever really said anything to me after that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a reason.
Yeah, I know. I was like,
they don't want to get the chair flipped.
No.
No, I mean, but it is like it's certain things. I mean, we all go through it, you know. Yeah. I mean, obviously, but obviously, you know, when I was a kid, I was heavier as well. You know, I had stuff that, you know, so I dealt with some of the same things, and very similar instances. Like eventually, you just get tired of it and you start punching people.
So, I'm gonna go to the next point. How I felt about the students. Dive into that a little bit more.
Okay.
Kids are jerks, man. I know I'm a jerk. I can be a bit of a jerk, but just not like, you know, I at a certain point, I had to be like, because I went through a lot this year, just with like my emotions and just trying to like figure that out. Yeah. And I was a jerk to my friends at times, and that caused a little bit of a shift in our relationship. We figured it out because, you know, they're my friends. We've known each other for so long. They weren't just gonna let you know, that friendship die because of something that I could have just explained. But I had to realize that, like, I can't really always expect them to, like, be, you know, like, coddling me because we're all going through our own stuff.
Everybody has their own problems, man.
And so I had to realize that, like, I can't really, like, I can rely on them, but at the same time, I can't expect them to always, like, understand or try to understand because they're going through their own stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So Overall, people were a lot nicer to me this year. Don't know if it's just because of like how I look or how I acted. Don't know if it's because I'm a little less annoying. But people
probably a little bit of a combination of all.
Probably a combination of like I look better.
I mean, I don't think I don't think. I think you were always a little harder on yourself. I think it's not so. The biggest change hasn't, at least from my perspective, as a observer. Obviously, a not objective observer. I'm very biased, but just from what I've seen, the biggest change I've seen is not necessarily in your physical appearance, but like in your attitude, mentally, like how you carry yourself. Your confidence has really, really gotten a lot higher.
Also, this was so people have matured a little bit. There's more of just like I don't know how to say this without sounding weird because you're my dad. But there was also just more of like a romantic. Oh, Jesus. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay.
Like, no, nothing ever happened between me and anyone.
I know.
Let me just say this right out the bat. I've never. No, I didn't participate in any of this.
The fact that you use the word romantic.
I don't know how to, I don't want to use the other word because that's weird.
Okay, I don't even know what the other word you're talking about is, but let's just keep going.
That's a bad explaining because no one's really romantic in 8th grade.
No, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
but this is that time.
It's becoming a little bit more serious.
Yeah, I mean,
as serious as we can be as 14-year-olds.
Exactly. I mean, this is the time where like you start getting your first boyfriends, first girlfriends, a lot of those first time.
Like I've seen more serious relationships. I've known people who've dated for the entire school year, and I was like, that is impressive. And they're like, it's just like I didn't realize that like this is normal now.
Yeah, I mean, and as you get into high school, things are gonna get, I mean, you have people that like meet in high school and are like together their entire time and then end up getting married, having children. Yeah. I mean, that stuff happens.
Pretty often, I feel like. Not that, well, like, often enough.
Often enough.
And there was also a lot of more of just, like, specifically boys being a lot nicer to me, which was weird because I was like, y'all were so mean to me last year. I'm not saying, like, I had people, like drooling over me, but it was definitely more of just like them being nicer to me.
Yeah, no, I get it. And
I was like, that's really funny.
I mean, I don't know. I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
Yeah, and then but overall, I mean, people were jerks, but not as big as a jerk as they were before. 7th grade was. People were so mean. Yeah. 6th grade, I mean, I didn't really interact with anyone, so I can't really have like an opinion on how they would have been. But 6th grade, oh my God, these 6th graders are awful. Like, I'm like, you're 11. You're 11. You just hit double digits. Calm down. Like, you think you're all that? You're 11.
Do you think that's how you were?
No, because I'm not like. I can't even go into the kind of stuff that I've heard. But you know what? Next topic, because
getting a little too riled up.
I could have a whole conversation about those 6th graders. Even my aunt, Auntie Bonbon, she taught me. She was a teacher at my middle school.
Shout out to Auntie Bonbon.
Shout out to Auntie Bonbon. She will tell you how often we had conversations just about the 6th graders. Now there was a 6th grader. I adopted her.
You adopted her?
Yeah, I love her so much.
Oh yeah. What's her name?
Nola.
Yeah.
There's no way of her seeing this because she's too little to even have a phone. She's 11. But I was so sad leaving her because she was crying. and she was like, I'm gonna miss you so much. And I was like, you'll see me. I'll be a junior. That didn't make it any better because that's 3 years from now. But
I mean,
it'll go by fast.
Yeah. I mean, just think about how you were last year, and now here you are.
And she was so sweet. Yeah. She was literally like one of the sweetest people I've ever met. But I'm gonna miss her a lot too. Yeah. So how my parents affected me? You were pretty cool. You were pretty cool. throughout this whole thing.
Most of the time.
Like most of the time, you were just kind of like standing back, like I don't know what to do. But, like I literally, like I could feel your anxiety. Like after I would have like an episode of me just being like, I want to die. Like I hate myself. I hate everything. You just be like, I don't know what to do. But I'm just gonna give you a hug. Like.
I mean, there was definitely some times like that, but there were also a lot of times where we had to sit down and have like long conversations, and there were a lot of times where I just kind of like had to sit and listen to you get stuff off of your chest, and I would have to like bring you back down to earth a little bit, you know. But then there was definitely some times where I would just have to like just kind of let you, okay, just go be by yourself. For a little while.
And that did help.
Yeah.
So my mom, you know, we're cool. We're both, I think the issue is that we both have very similar personalities. And so similar personality traits, those personality traits don't necessarily mesh at all times. And so there was a lot of like animosity. There's a lot of animosity.
You think so?
During like 6th grade. It was rough.
Well,
seventh grade was better.
So I what I will say, and this is kind of why, you know, I kind of like try to just take you for a little while. I mean, because so we got to think about, right? Mm-hmm. So your mom is a teacher as well.
Yeah.
Right, and then you have your little sister, and this was all new.
Riley was 3.
Yeah, so I mean, so you got like a toddler. And everybody's in the house. So, I mean, it was rough on your mom, too, right?
And, like, I have to, like, as angry as I was at a certain time, well, like, I just had to realize, like, she was also going through it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and she was doing the best she could. But that's why it was just like, okay, it would be helpful, like, now, because, you know, always, like, with the distance during the school year, it was a lot. Even with me, like, working remotely, like, you being with me a lot during the week wasn't always easy, but when you were remote, you could just be here all the time.
Yeah, and
so it helped.
There was also like 7th grade was pretty okay between me and her.
Yeah.
She was always very supportive and very helpful when there were situations at school. She was always immediately like you better do something about this. I'm gonna come up there. I'm gonna beat you up. Like that, not necessarily like a lot nicer, but she was always like, you're going to do something about this or else we're going to have some issues if you don't start treating my daughter right. Which I always am so grateful for. She was always there. There was, I don't know, like after my great grandmother died, which was her grandmother, I could feel that there was a lot of like anxiety and kind of like anger around her.
Yeah.
So I kind of just had to like back away for a little bit because she was grieving very hard because like mama was like, her best, like she was really close to mama.
Yeah.
And that was a really hard loss on her, I could tell.
Yeah.
It was a hard loss on me, but not nearly as hard on her.
Yeah. I mean, you know, and grief affects everyone differently.
Yeah. And then 8th grade was pretty okay. I mean, there was a situation around November that I don't really feel comfortable delving into that put a strain on a relationship. I'm still kind of traumatized is a big word.
Yeah, I definitely want to go that far.
But it was really rough. I'm still like kind of upset about that.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you just always gotta keep in mind, like I always tell you, like, you know, we're all human, but you know, like your mom loves you very much, and you know that, and you know she would do anything for you.
And you know, there's always like small bickerings that we get into, you know, but like. I mean, that stuff.
I mean, I think that's, you know, kind of mothers and daughters.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I mean, I feel like this is kind of like an age-old tale. Like, if you talk to your mom about your relationship with your granny, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how they did, like, it could have been similar things. Like, it's kind of like one of those, it's like, it's the same thing with, like, fathers and sons.
Yeah, I feel like if I was a guy, we would have gotten into a lot.
Yeah, and then me and you would probably be, you know, so it's just kind of like one of those things where, like, you know, and you know, you guys do have very similar personalities, but it's also not like, I mean, you and your mom still have a great relationship.
Yeah, we have a good relationship.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, but there's just, as you grow, certain things, you know, change and your opinions change, and you know, and you start seeing and noticing different things. And you are growing into a different person, right?
So parents are cool, I guess. We're fine, at the moment. We're cool. Me and my mom are cool,
Yeah.
She even, I wasn't feeling that great mentally earlier this week, as we had a whole conversation.
Yeah, I remember.
But I was feeling kind of down, she kind of was she recognized that, which I really appreciate, because I feel like we've had a couple conversations where I'd be like, I can't always control when I feel like this.
Right.
And I feel like now she understands. So she saw that I was kind of feeling down. So she took me out to eat. She made me go over my granny's house even when I didn't want to, and it made me feel a lot better. She was picking me up from school so I didn't have to walk home and be by myself. She would come home early. She was being a lot more, just understanding, I feel like, which I really appreciate.
Yeah, I mean that's and that's what I'm saying. Your mom, she's a great mom to you.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, as parents, we don't always know everything. We don't always have all the answers, but we always are doing the best we can.
Yeah. So let's dive into friendships a little bit more, because I talked about my friends, but I haven't really talked about the specifics.
Okay.
There are a couple people I've mentioned. One of my best friends right now, her name's Sataya. Love her. So supportive. She's legitimately one of the most supportive friends that I've had in a while. She's always listening to me and just being even because I feel kind of bad because I don't want to dump all this onto my friends, so I kind of push away at sometimes. But then she's like, no, you can talk to me, and I'm like, oh, thanks. And one of my friends, Eden, she's hard to get into contact to because she doesn't have a phone. But during
that's an anomaly these days.
Yeah, I don't even. I'll tell you later. But she's really cool. She was always, she wasn't in school for the entirety of 7th grade and half of 8th grade, so we kind of our friendship kind of grew apart. But once she got back, we became really close friends. I'd known her from elementary school and from 6th grade, and she's just all around a cool person. She might have not understood why I felt the way I felt at all times, but she was always just there making sure I was okay. She's just really funny, and we just have a good relationship. Then there's my friend Natalie. She's always been there for me. We aren't really as close these days, but she's still I'll just send her a random video, or I'll just text her and be you want to hang out? And she's one of those friends. Just you want to hang out? Sure. And then we'll just we'll just talk about just random stuff the entire time.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends. Reagan, always talking about her.
Yeah.
One of my best friends. Love her so much. She's really funny. Kind of gets on my nerves a little bit because she's also very sarcastic. So, it's just a sarcasm battle between us sometimes. And, but it's all fun. She's also very, understanding. And it's just, always, hugging me and stuff. So that makes me feel nice. Then there's, just, I don't know. I've also had to learn that some friendships don't mean as much to the other person that they do to you, and people aren't always there for you how you think they are. So that's caused me to maybe not make as many close friendships as I could have this year. But I also I've made more friends. There were a lot of people at my graduation party that you had never met before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I had made a lot.
It was a lot of people there actually.
Yeah. So I'm pretty social usually when I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
But I can be a little shy when I'm uncomfortable and when I'm not in a comfortable situation. But I'm quick to open up to people, right? But yeah, my friends are great. There's obviously there's been conflicts and stuff. And, I've always kept the same group of close friends for a very long time. They've yet to disappoint me.
Well, that's good. Well, yeah.
And friendships are very important. I've learned this.
They are very important.
There are some friends that I feel you like Uncle Lamar now.
Yeah.
He's been your friend since y'all were 12.
Yeah, a long time.
So I feel
Long
like
time.
some of my friendships could turn into that. Knock on wood.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have some friendships that are gonna last until adulthood, and then you're gonna have. I mean, there'll be people that you're friends with now that by the time you graduate high school, you're probably not gonna be talking to anymore, and it may not even be because something happened.
Yeah, so
There was just some sort of event, or you guys stopped talking for whatever reason. Sometimes it's just kind of like the natural progression
yeah, people
of
just
life.
grow apart.
Yeah, exactly. People grow in different directions. You get into different things. Life takes you different places.
Yeah, and I've even met just some like in my summer school class. I've met some new friends that I'm like, hey, you're like pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
there's this guy that was in my science class in 8th grade, like this past year, and he never really talked except for when he wanted the answers for me. But he sits right next to me now, and he's actually pretty funny. Like,
Oh yeah, that's the guy you were talking about. Yeah.
no, not Miles.
Okay.
But I
Oh, is
name
it?
drop. But he's a different person.
Got you.
He sits right next to me. He still tries to get my answers, but it's a little bit more, talking involved.
And not just
Yeah.
relying on you for.
Yeah, he doesn't really rely on me because the teacher has made it very clear, like, if I catch you cheating, I will give you 0. And we can't risk that in summer school. There's too much. So, but he's really cool. Like him. He's funny. Then there's the other guy that I was talking to. I knew him from. So I took geometry this year. So I went to the high school to take geometry. He was also doing the same thing. He didn't talk. Heard him maybe say a total of 10 sentences. But now he's pretty cool, Talk
Nice.
to him about stuff.
Nice.
Work on him with group projects. He's pretty cool. I told you something the other day that I don't know if I can say online. Yeah, no, I'm not going to say that.
Okay, well, let's not.
Something about one of my other friends, but
Yeah,
no.
No.
I can't say that. But yeah, he's cool. Reagan's in my geometry class. Satai's in my geometry, my biology class. Satai's in my biology class, so we've all kind of like created this like little group.
Nice.
And we're all like, friends and stuff.
Yeah, so on to high school.
Yeah. And the Miles is from James Hart, so we can coincide together peacefully.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a
big rivalry.
Middle school rivalry.
All the white kids. Oh my God, there's so many white kids from James Hart. Jesus Christ. So Parker, majority black school, right? Like, I've made more black friends because Western was a very white school. So I had a lot of white friends that also caused, I'll get onto that a little bit later. But there was a lot of white kids, came to Parker, a bit of a culture shock, but like a good one because I was around a lot more black people. I'd say 90% black.
Yeah.
10% was other races. So like I'd say like 80% was black, 10% was like Mexican, Latino and Latina, and then 10% was white, if that.
Okay.
So very black and like very minority school.
Okay.
So bit of a culture shock to see so many white kids at HF and even just in my biology class, and they're all from James Hart.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, and that's actually kind of a good thing, so to speak. Just because you learn how to deal with different people, culturally, like earlier on. Because obviously, when I was in high school, I ain't gonna say there were a couple. There were a couple of white kids in Morgan Park.
Where?
In the area, Mount Greenwood earlier. It wasn't all, it wasn't all the way black, and there were a lot of Mexicans as well, but it was definitely mostly black. Yeah. But like my academic experience. When I graduated 8th grade, all the way from like kindergarten to 8th grade, it was all black.
Kindergarten is crazy.
Yeah, like it was all black. Like I didn't have anybody from any other race.
Kindergarten,
whatever. Kinder. Whatever. Anyway,
I'm patronizing.
I know, but it was all black. So it's kind of good that you've gotten that experience. Obviously there are pros and cons to that as well. But
I'll get into that.
Yeah.
So there's next my image, confidence, and mental health. I already kind of delved into that. 6th grade mental health poop. I was very sad, very depressed. Very sad kid. Um, there's also a lot of like, so I am black, shocker, right?
Newsflash.
Newsflash, I am African American.
Uh,
And so coming from the elementary school that I did, coming into sixth grade, I had mostly white friends, right?
right.
Didn't really realize that that was like, quote unquote, an issue until I got into sixth grade. And I realized like, oh, like, this is kind of weird. Like, black kids were, like, found me weird because I had mostly white friends. So that caused a little bit of like, I was insecure about my blackness.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, we went.
And about like, I didn't feel black enough because of the music that I listened to and because of the kind of like shows that I watched and because of the way I dressed. Like, I didn't feel like I fit in with the black kids at my school. In sixth and seventh grade, but especially in sixth grade, I tried to make more black friends, but they kind of just were like, you have mostly white friends, so I don't know if I want to talk to you. And I was like, oh. In seventh grade, it got a little bit better. You know, I made some more black friends, and I felt a little bit more secure in like my blackness and stuff. In eighth grade, like I don't care. Like, I have black and white friends. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Like,
yeah. I mean, and that's the way it should be, you know. And it should be more so about like, you know, the content of somebody's character,
yeah,
as opposed to like, you know, what they look like, who they are, where they come from. You know, just like, are they cool? Are they nice to you? And it's all, and you know, like I always told you, you know, like what you watch, what type of music you listen to, like none of that defines your blackness, right? You know.
Yeah, and I also moved at the beginning of seventh grade.
Right.
So I was around a lot more black people because my neighborhood is very black.
Right.
So I've made some more friends around that neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know? And, you know, I mean, I have black friends, I have white friends, I have Hispanic friends, you know. I have all sorts of friends, and, like, they don't really define who I am.
Exactly.
I'm very comfortable with being black.
As you should be.
So, yeah. Mental health. In seventh grade, like I said, my body image was real rough.
Yeah.
And that's basically, but the difference between seventh grade and eighth grade was in seventh grade, I was very insecure about how I looked physically, but I was never insecure about like my personality.
Right.
This year was the first time like ever that I've ever been insecure about like the way I act. You know? Like, there was just a lot of insecurity in, like, how annoying I was.
Right.
Like, if I was annoying, if people found me annoying, there was a lot of just, like, some people being snarky to me because, like, I'm trying to make new friends, so I might, like, kind of try to stick around them.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, you're being weird, and I'm like, oh, okay. But so there's a lot of insecurity in that. My moods were like up and down, so there's a lot of just me feeling like really good about myself and then me doing something stupid, and then I like felt really bad about myself. Just a lot of insecurities about the way I act and the way I am.
But the way you are and the way you act. I mean, I know we talked about this, especially with and you kind of talked about this a little bit earlier in terms of like how you deal with certain things and how you like relay that stuff to your friends.
Yeah, and there was also, oh my gosh, this year, like, there was a lot more of what I felt like just people just, like, I think in some of these situations I could have handled it better, but there was a lot of just people, like, starting stuff with me. And like, I told you about that situation that happened to Miss I can't say it.
Yeah, I know.
But it was just, like, just a lot of just people just being mean.
And yeah, but I always tell you.
And that situation, like, I still think about that situation all the time. And it was really rough. Like, the way. So basically, I'm going to explain it in the best way that I can without adding too many details. Basically, I had an issue with this one girl that I thought she was my friend. You know, I'm a very, like, sarcastic person. So I would joke with her sarcastically, and I guess she didn't get that. So the way she thought about dealing with this, instead of just, like, talking to me about it, I said something snarky to her. Like, we were playing this game, and she was getting triggered. And I was like, you're just mad because you're not like winning, like be quiet, like you know what I'm like, just
yeah.
playful banter. She turns around and says, Nia, shut your fat bleep up. Screams it in front of the entire class.
Yeah, I remember.
And I didn't recover from that for like a week. I was that was legitimately one of the most embarrassing things that's ever happened to me.
I remember. That's, you know, and I mean, and we have moments like that, right? Like as kids, you know, growing up.
And it really showed me, like, that's when I started being like really good friends with Satya, because of the way she reacted to that situation. She immediately, even though we weren't close, she immediately was like right by me, like, are you okay? Telling me, like, you know, just being just a good person.
And things like that can be very embarrassing. Like we've all had those really embarrassing moments where it's like somebody says something, does something, like, especially if it's like in front of everybody, a lot of people see it. And it's different. It's a lot different now. Because, like, you know, you also have the threat of it being recorded.
No, it wasn't recorded.
Oh yeah, I know, but I'm talking about it.
I'm thankful that it was in such like because I have known those kids since I was in like 7th grade, because it's the same class.
Right.
Because it was like a advanced class, so it was just the same people from that last year moved up to, you know, this year. So I built a relationship with most of those kids. Those kids knew who I was. Yeah. They knew a lot about me. So they were immediately, a lot of them ran to my side,
right, which
was very, like, showed me the character of a lot of people, showed me a character of a lot of other people that I was like, okay, well, I see how it is. So, yeah, but it was just bittersweet because, like, you know, obviously it was an embarrassing and humiliating moment, but it also showed me, like, the character of some people, and now we're, like, really good friends, like me and Satya.
Yeah. So silver linings.
Reagan reacted very well to that. So now me and Reagan are even closer than we were before. Yeah. So
I mean, and I will tell you, like, people that are just mean for no reason, a lot of times it's just because, well, most times it's because they have something else going on with themselves, you know, and like people that are good people, like, don't have to make other people feel bad. Yeah. Like, you know, if like small people try to make other people feel small, so they don't feel as small as they are.
And I, you know, that situation doesn't affect me as much as it did like a couple months ago, but I still think about it. And I've also just like gained a lot of just, you know, like, I don't really care.
Yeah, because that stuff, it won't be the last time somebody says anything like that to you, unfortunately. And the thing is just like, stuff like that, man, like I always tell you, you just gotta let that stuff roll off, you know. And it's easier said than done, for sure.
People have still made little comments about me. They're like, "Oh, you're so big," but I'm like, I could take that any way that I want.
And it's not.
And like, I mean, I am big. I'm not a small person. They're not lying. I mean, they're not saying you're fat, like you're big and ugly. They're just saying that, like, I've learned that they're just stating a fact. Like,
I mean, yeah, and I mean, everybody is different, man. You know, and like I've been telling you since you were a kid, like, you come from big people. Yeah, and none of us small. Yeah, not
and not only am I like, I'm big or I'm tall, right, too. So I take up a lot of space.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You have a. So not only physically, do you have like a large stature, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you're tall, you have broad shoulders.
Yeah, and I've also learned that, like, I thought that if I lost weight, I would be smaller, but I'm also realizing that I have broad shoulders. So this will never change, because this is just my bone structure.
You have my shoulders.
Yeah, the amount, like, even just like right now, the amount that my shoulders stick out is never gonna change, because that's just my bones.
Right, but you're also like, I mean, you have a big personality. Like, you have a lot going for yourself. You're the type of person that they could. I mean, you have so much talent. You can do so many things, right? And
yeah, that also, I've been very insecure in, like, my talent. There was a time, about April, I want to say, where I was just like, it was right before spring break, so I was just like messed up anyway. You remember spring break was rough. Yeah. But I was just like in a bad place anyway, and so there was a lot of just me feeling insecure about my art skills.
Speaking of art skills,
I made this for his Father's Day gift, and he cried.
You always like to tell people.
It's not a.
So this is very So
I'll explain what I wanted to do with this.
okay, you
So,
explain.
This is obviously my dad, just a very more cartoonish version of him. You know, big head and all. And he's wearing headphones, and the headphone is connected to his heart, and you see like you have like all the kind of like showing like the heart is like, you know, I don't know what I was trying to do, but if you look at it, you can understand. So basically, you know, he's really into music. He's a producer. You know, music has always been a big part of his life and my life, so I just kind of wanted to show that because I know music makes him very happy. Oh. So, yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, no, it definitely... so, I mean, you obviously are a very, very talented person.
Yeah, but I also, you know, I was just insecure about my art and just, like, my music skills, insecure about my guitar skills, insecure about my cello playing skills, insecure about... I don't even know, like, just insecure about, I just felt untalented because everyone that I know has something that they're good at and they stick to it. But I feel like because I had to realize that because I'm so, it's going to sound really condescending, but because I dabble in so many different things, I don't necessarily, because Reagan's really talented artist. She's actually getting paid to illustrate a book.
Nice.
She's getting paid like
Don't. Yeah, but she's getting paid.
She's getting paid a lot of money.
Okay.
She's really talented. Talk about her a lot, but I just love her so much. She's my best friend. She's a really talented artist. Sataya's really talented. She's a really talented performer.
Right.
So she's really passionate about that. Natalie's really talented, like pianist and like guitarist, and like she wants to be a songwriter. So like everyone that I know has something that they're really good at and that they really passionate about, but like I could never be like, someone asked me what I want to be when I grow up, and I'm like, oh, I want to go into like art field, and they're like, what? And I'm like, now I know, this is a little side tangent, now I know that I might want to go into psychology.
Yeah, I know. But you're also 14 years old, like,
yeah.
So there's no pressure to have any of that stuff figured out right now, and because you have so much talent in so many different areas, like you can do whatever you want. Like you don't have, and you have so much time. You don't have to have it figured out right now.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I always thought, and I would always tell you. I mean, your feelings are your feelings, but also it's just like it's my responsibility as your father to kind of like steer you, you know, in the right direction and to correct you and to let you know and to reassure you.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about what other people doing. I always say. Comparison is a thief of joy. Yep. You know what I'm saying?
And so I also wanted to go into a little bit of like, since I'm getting into, even though I'm just a freshman, high school is a big deal. You know, I have 4 years, which seems like a long time, but it's really not.
It's not.
I have 4 years until I'm going to college, and I'm expected to be an adult.
I hope you get a scholarship because I'm poor.
Oh yeah, no. You talk about student loans so much, and I'm like, I'm never. If that is one thing that I can promise to myself, I'm never gonna have to.
Yeah, we're gonna take care of that when the time comes. But anyway,
so I just want to talk about a little bit like what I want my future to look like.
What do you want your future to look like, Nia?
Me and my mom were talking about going on college tours, either the summer for freshman and sophomore year, sophomore and junior year. Mm-hmm. Definitely, I've always said that I'm either going to school in Chicago or I'm moving across the country.
Yep.
There's no in between. I do really want to go to the Columbia, the art school, or University of Chicago. I think NYU is a really good school with like the arts and just like stuff like that. Only thing I have to complain about New York is it's really expensive and the rats are the size of cats. It's an issue.
Not that bad.
Listen, oh my gosh, there was this food blogger that I love. She went to Joe's Pizza to get a $1 slice of pizza. And she was just minding her own business, eating her pizza outside. She saw a rat with dragging a full pizza slice down into a sewer like Master Splinter, trying to feed all the Ninja Turtles. It was so disgusting. It was so nasty. But New York City is a disgusting place.
It's dirty.
But I also want to maybe go to HBCU. I do want to go to Howard. Well, I would want to go to Howard because we went to the campus when I was in Maryland.
Yeah.
Howard is a beautiful campus. And
definitely know quite a few people that went to Howard.
And I looked it up. They have like a good psychology, but also like a good art, field.
Yeah.
So
I know a couple of artists that very talented artists that went to Howard.
Yeah.
Well.
So I would want to go there. University of Chicago, pretty prestigious school. Columbia is a pretty good art school. See the campus of both. They're beautiful. Because I live here. I've gone downtown. But, I've also realized that, especially in the new day and age with, like, AI computers that can generate art isn't necessarily the most assuring field to go into.
I mean, I feel like, so I wouldn't obviously, so AI is a threat to a lot of professions.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't let that discourage you.
Yeah, no, I'm not. But I've also realized, like, even just doing the biology course, like, I've realized that I'm actually really interested in science. And just, like, I've always, I've struggled with my mental health, but I've always just been interested in, like, how the brain works and, like, why are you the way that you are, Like, I've always just been interested in that. And, I would like to say that I like helping people.
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't mind being a psychiatrist. That I want to take a psychology class because that's something that HF does offer. I want to take a psychology class like junior or senior year. So,
and you have, and obviously, like, as you get older, you're going to have different experiences. You're going to shape you and may pull you in different directions.
Yeah, and I always kind of, like, told myself I want to have, like, a creative job, like, maybe that I will go into, but a more, like, standard, I guess, job.
Yeah, you'll see. But there are many different ways for you to use your creativity. Yeah. But I've always told you that I feel like that's the only way you're gonna have to be doing something creative.
Yeah, definitely.
In order for you to be happy. Even if
I just, like, minor in art or, like, I do it on the side, like, I'm always gonna be into, like, music and art.
Yeah, you're a creative. It's part of who you are.
Yeah, but also, I don't know, psychologists make a lot of money. Looked it up, $300,000 a year.
I mean, that's important. Not all
that's
of them,
over 6 figures.
Well over.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not now, but that's still a lot of
money.
No, maybe not as much as it might have been.
No, it's still a lot of money.
Yeah.
So
Dr. Allen, maybe.
David,
I also
Dr.
just want to be called Dr. Allen. That sounds just so cool. MD. My doctor's office be like, so what brings you here? Been feeling sad recently. Have you maybe thought about not being sad? No. I would be a terrible doctor. But no, I promise you I'll be a better doctor.
All right. You got anything else on there? Or we gonna wrap up?
Middle school was rough. If anyone, I don't know why there would be, like, 5th graders watching, but, like, if you're going into middle school, make as many friends as you can. Enjoy the time there, but also just, like, kind of, like, be aware of everything going on because you're about to enter some of the roughest years of your life. Like, because you've been a 5th grader, you haven't seen anything yet.
I mean, well, middle school was rough.
Yeah, I know. I'm about to go into high school. I'm a little nervous, but
I know you're gonna be fine. High school. So I had a lot of fun in high school.
Well, you also didn't care about your grades.
Oh, jeez.
D's get degrees. Listen, look at where you are now.
I mean, I graduated.
Yeah.
I graduated. I have a job. You
have a kid.
Yeah, I'm doing all right. But I did not. I wasn't what you would call a scholar in those years.
I'm trying to be a scholar.
You should.
So yeah, I'm very excited for high school. Very excited to maybe, like, these are the most. I would say, because my mom's always said that, like, whenever you were a teenager was, like, when you grew up. So, like, you grew up in the 90s because you were a teenager in the 90s. So this is about to be, like,
these are
my formative years.
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm about to start driving very soon.
Yeah. Gotta get more driving lessons coming in.
Yeah, I'm about to,
Maybe we'll graduate to driving on the street and not just in the parking lot soon.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Just important stuff. There's a little scary. But also, I'm just very excited to see, and maybe we'll be here a couple, 4 years. Me as a senior, I graduated from high school.
Yeah. Well, The production will be a bit different.
Oh yeah, then, definitely.
I'm sure, but we can definitely do this again.
Yeah, but you will see me. I'm become like every other episode I'm on here.
Yeah, you're a regular fixture.
You'll see me in about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I'll be here. What is up? Another episode of 914 Media. I am the host now. This is my show.
Are you trying to take over already?
No, I don't want to do this. This is your field. I love being a guest, but this is like I don't even understand what that is.
It's not that complicated.
I'm sure.
Okay.
That's actually really fun. Oh, that reminds me of the Black Mirror episode we were watching last night with the bees.
Oh, jeez.
I gotta go watch more Black Mirror. So this is done. Okay.
All right. And on that note,
this is like a picture of what I look like at 14. Remember this? Remember this face, and then we'll be back in about 4 years and see what I look like in 4 years.
How much you've changed?
How much I've changed? Probably not much.
No, I could say it's going to be a considerable amount of change in the next 4 years.
From 14 to 18?
Oh, yeah. Huge amounts of change.
Okay.
But we shall see.
Maybe I'll have a tattoo.
Probably not. But anyway,
I want a tattoo so bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, you won't be having one, but no. Anyway, thanks for watching. Yep. Thanks for tuning in. This has been a wonderful episode. Thank you again
we're not talking about movies.
Had an opinion.
You actually get to know. You actually get to know like what I am.
Yeah, this was all about you. Just
not a movie.
Just kind of wound you up and let you go.
Also, 1 year. Do you have the thing?
I don't have.
Yeah, 1 year anniversary of your podcast.
Yeah. This is actually today. I know.
Yeah.
When this comes out.
And you made a Father's Day episode, and it's all full circle because the year anniversary is me talking to you.
Yeah,
your child. And Father's Day, I'm the best daughter ever. No one could ever top.
No, you definitely give. You've always given me very.
I'm a good gift giver.
Yeah, she's always given me very great gifts. But yeah, this is. It's been a year. It's been wild. It's been crazy.
And you've seen me grow over the past year.
Yeah, I mean, even like if you look at the first episode we did together to now.
I was so chubby. I still am, but like my face was so little and chubby.
I mean, but you've just grown.
And my hair wasn't colored.
Yeah, you got hair.
And then my hair is growing out. I need to get my. Oh.
Yeah, we'll worry about that.
Okay.
But no, it's been fun. It's been real.
Yep.
Thank you for all of you that have been supporting me the last 365 days. Yep. I appreciate that, and hope you continue to for the next 365. And tell a friend, And
I told my friends.
That's grateful. I'm grateful for that. You have cool friends. But on that note, until next time, peace out.
Bye.